Yo, what's going on? It's Hans Nobi. About to get right into it. Today we're gonna talk about metadata, but before we do that, let's vibe out a little bit.
Duh, it's Hans Nobi.
Turn this up a little bit. Sir, it's August 19th, 2021. There's a lot of strange things going on, man. Hope you're getting set up, man. Let me know in the chat. You hear everything. You're rocking with everything, man. About to keep it About to share this on Facebook as well. Everything is shared. I don't think there's anything else I'm missing, right? Nah, I guess not. Alright, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hopefully, y'all can see me. I think so. Alright, I'm gonna try to minimize this. Alright, y'all. Fortunately, I found a way to just have the music just not just stop abruptly because it kind of messes up the vibe. Anyway, we're here. It's August 19th, 2021, and I'm feeling good, feeling great. Finishing up some projects that I'm working on. Finishing up a spoken word album. Still working on the audiobook, and then another project that I worked on. It's going to be announced here fairly soon with an artist. So whenever he's ready to announce it, that's going to drop. It's going to be a single, and then just got some things in the pipeline, man. Just getting to it, getting straight to it. I wasn't sure, I'm not to toot my own horn or anything like that, man, but wasn't sure if you guys had a chance to check out your boy in the New York Weekly. It was a write up about me and my production company, Room 380. Still pushing it. Yeah, man. Once this loads. Well, no, I'm not here to buy anything. We just want to. Looks like I messed up the. Sorry. It's now on Google. So all I got to do is find it. There we go. New York Weekly. Bam. So whenever you get a chance, man, I'll probably leave that link in the description if you're interested in reading it. But it just talks about just how, my transition from starting off at Texas State University as a rap artist, touring, going to Austin and moving back home to Houston, and then from there moving here to New York, and just everything I've been working on and what Room 380 is and what I'm working on creating it as. So whenever you get a chance, man, check it out. But today is not about me. Today I kind of want to go into this whole thing about metadata and why it's important. So the thing that sort of bothers me, let me open this up, in regards to what I see, not only on Spotify, but also just on um, Apple Music, just across the board, is the credits. So I'm going to pull up my music because I don't want to call anybody out, because either you may not have known or maybe you just didn't care, but you're gonna care after this, right? So here, this is my playlist produced by Hans Nobi. Sort of records I've produced over the past couple of years. But one thing I want to point out for mine, so let's say for instance, I want to check out this record here, right? But if I go to show credits, it's gonna show all this information, and this needs to be updated. But you see where it says produced by. So the reason why, so what you're looking at is what we call metadata, right? So let's get into it. I'm going to start from the base. I'm going to get in the habit of starting from the base level and then going up instead of just talking like everyone just knows what I'm talking about, because sometimes I feel like I talk over people's heads. At least that's been the consensus. So what is metadata? Or, let's see, metadata. No, I don't want to look for that image anymore. I got it already. So metadata is a set of data that describes and gives information about other data, right? So in music, and you can play the replay if I'm going too fast. Music metadata, more specifically, is the collection of information that pertains to a song file, such as artist name, producer, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, you can read this article about Spotify you want, but I can break it down to you. So here is what you see, the metadata, right? So it's the name of who the record's performed by, which would be myself and PJ Gifted. Who's written by would be myself and PJ Gifted's real name, and then the produced by, which again I need to update. But I want to pull this up as an example. The reason why you want to make sure this is updated is for a few reasons. I'm trying not to go over everyone's heads. So the reason why it's important is if you're looking at like Sound Exchange and you submitting music for collecting, your spins on radio for extraterrestrial radio, so like Sirius, XM, those sort of channels. If you're looking for that, if your music is played on there, right, you can get paid for that. However, the problem is most artists are not updating the information that's here necessary. So let's say I work for Sound Exchange and I have these 100 records that got played on Shady 405. I look and I say, okay, I need to turn this into Sound Exchange so that way these people can get paid. And we'll get into like how you get paid later, as far as like where that money's coming from. We'll do that in another episode. I just want to make sure we cover the basics first. So if, for instance, you have this record that's playing on Shady 405 and the metadata is not updated correctly, what happens in Sound Exchange goes through, and if they don't see the name there, what happens is, like much like with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, that gets collected in what's called black box money. Black box money is just money that's just not claimed. So let's pull that up so you know what I mean. So black box money, also known as black box income, these are unclaimed royalties for which a publisher or writer is named but cannot be traced by a collection society. Let's stop right there. This is the most important thing here. So if you are with pure Sound Exchange, you're with CSAC, ASCAP, or whomever, when that information gets submitted, if the name that is in that in that metadata doesn't match, or it's not listed, you could be missing out on money. And so I keep bringing this up because this has happened to me. This one I'm not too concerned because I submitted it, but there have been other. I'm not gonna pull up because some of these artists probably just didn't know. So I'm not here to call anybody out. But in regards to these records that are here, if that music is played and that information is incorrect, this drive home, you're not gonna get paid. So when you go through DistroKid or TuneCore, you need to make sure that the information is there properly. And that kind of ties back to what I've said in a previous episode is people want to say that in regards to, like, whether you're working with a songwriter, producer, executive producer, or whomever, the saying to throw out there is, hey, you get paid on the back end. Well, if you don't have this basic information that's set up, that person's not going to get paid on the back end, and neither are you. So it's very important. Actually, let me pull that back up. So kind of want to, now that you have like the foundation for it, I want to go into like the whole like back end thing. It's not normal language, again, that most any artists use, because, how do I put it, if you're telling a producer, you're telling a songwriter, hey, I'll pay you in the back, you have to make sure that the business is taken care of. So DistroKid actually had excuse me, DistroKid, excuse me, how to submit, how to upload music tutorial. So there's a tutorial on how to do it. Make sure you get that stuff taken care of. So I've driven that home. So we're good there, right? So we don't need to do anything else. We're good there. All right. So the reason why I bring this up is kind of tying into what I wanted to speak of before, was the whole back end thing. You have to understand, like, if you're not paying anyone up front, but you're going to do the back end, you have to make sure everything is set up correctly. So for instance, we can actually go through mine. So let's see, ASCAP, showing all my little information here. Actually, before we do that, let's start with split sheets. Again, I'm just trying to take everything with the base level. Hold on, guys, give me a second here. Let me pull up these split sheets, because I have a template that I use. Anytime you're ready. All right. All right, we can do the same one. Okay. Actually, because he doesn't have his PRO. Let's see. Let's do this one. Template. There we go. This one. All right. So what I'm gonna pull up here is what's called a split sheet, if it lets me, because I don't think I have Word on this computer. I think I took it off because I don't use Word anymore. Oh, there it is. There we go. I don't need to activate that. Anyway, see if we can turn this. Yeah, switch modes. There we go. Okay. Let's see. We don't want anyone's information here. If so, I'm gonna delete it. Okay. All right. Perfect your craft. Okay. Now here you have a split sheet. Now this is basically the easiest way to remember what a split sheet is basically it's an agreement between you and everyone involved in the making of the record, agreeing on percentages, and you can address it. There's a sample there, whatever, but we're gonna go through the basics, right? So here you will put your artist name, right? Your label. Now, in regards to the record label, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If it's not an actual corporation or an LLC, a C corp or S corp, don't bother putting anything here. The reason why is because if you take it to court, and that's like it's not gonna matter. So you put a fake name here, but you're still gonna catch the brunt of the lawsuit because you don't have a corporation set up to buffer that. So don't worry about the record label there. Studio name, you want to put your home address, you can. Address, phone number, this is a sample, this and a third. Now for this information here, oh my goodness, oh that's right. So for this information here, this is where you address the publishing splits and everything else, right? So you put the percentage. If there's a sample, you put how much a percentage is going to that owner of that sample. Not disregard it. You selected ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. Now I know for working with artists in London, you have to put their PRO, and if they're signed to a union, there's an extra set of copy something here that you have to put in here. But anyway, you put all this information in here, and then you fill this out, and then you put your signature, and then you put either your IPI, CAE, or Social Security. If you're with ASCAP, CSAC, whomever, you put that IPI information. try to refrain from putting your social security. Which kind of leads me to another conversation we probably need to have, stating like why it's important if you're going to get in the music business, why you need to protect yourself with having an S corp, C corp, or LLC, because if you don't, you wind up leaving yourself exposed. So let's say, for instance, you put your social security. What happens if like somebody's cloud gets like hacked, or like somebody's like the person who has the other copy of this, like their hard drive gets stolen or whatever. Now your social security's out there. Now that's when you wind up getting onto crazy. Yo, I didn't open $100,000 credit loan or whatever, and that's how that happens. So make sure you get a LLC or C corp, S corp. Let me know if you guys are interested in me telling you how to do that. I don't know if that's of interest, but once you fill all this information out, you can get notarized, but if it's multiple parties, you're gonna be pretty much good for the most part. But once you have this, that's it. There's nowhere to really submit it unless you want to submit it to your label. But this is just saying, hey, we agree on paper that these are going to be the splits. Once you're done with this, the next thing you want to do is go into ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, or whoever your PRO is, submit that information, and then you're good. But there's a catch there. So if we go to PJ Gifted here, right? We'll go to my record with PJ Gifted. You can put your artist name. It's totally fine, but the written and produced by has to be your real name. If you want to put your artist name, you definitely can, but that'll only work if you put your artist name and you have an EIN. So in other words, if your name is incorporated, that makes sense. If it's not, then you need to put your first and last name, because again, when Sound Exchange goes and looks for that information when they're submitting on their information, that's what they're going to be looking for. You can get away with your artist name if you want, but I would say put your written name. But that's why the metadata is so important. Is we've heard for years people say, "Oh, I'll catch my money in the back end." I believe that that's the language that's for people higher up. That's for people who are like way up in the industry, because it makes sense. But if you're an indie artist, probably not so much. So something to address. Yeah, man. And check out my beats. Yeah. Yeah. That needs to be updated as well. Don't know why that's out there. I'll get that done. Okay. But yeah, man. That's all I wanted to address with you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what else you think. I kind of knew this was going to be a short episode, but I just wanted to make sure that I addressed it with you all. But that is it, man. The week's been very, very cool for the most part. And yeah, I will holler at y'all later. I am about to jam out a little bit longer, but yeah, man. Let me know. Keep me posted on what y'all have going on. Peace.